Los Angeles City Council. Today is Wednesday, the 11th day of March in the year 2026. Public comment for this morning's meeting will be taken in person in this chamber. Mr. Clerk, if we can begin our proceedings by calling the roll. Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm recusing myself from item 7 as I am a landlord. 7.
All right.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
On item 28.
Okay, so you have 1 minute, and I'll just reiterate for everybody. So if you would also like general public comment, please state which items you'd like to speak to, and if you'd like general public comment. So is it just 28?
Let's put general just.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Yeah, so good morning. My name is Lizeth Mendoza, and I'm an organizer with Community Power Collective, also known as CPC. Community Power Collective opposes a proposal to amend Measure ULA. The coalition that developed and won ULA went through an intentional process and research, debate, and analysis because we understood that decisions about this measure could shape Los Angeles for decades. These decisions were not made in a matter of weeks or based on opinions of just a few stakeholders. We expect that this ad hoc committee to approach its work with the same level of care. That means engaging the coalition that built ULA and seriously analyzing the impacts that reducing ULA funding would have on tenants and working class communities. We are concerned that a timeline ending April 30th does not allow for that level of analysis. Rushing amendments without thorough review would be a mistake, and that could cost the city millions of dollars. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chongwen Hong, and I'm here to speak about aggravated assault. In the past 8 years, the total crime rate of murder, robbery, and rape in California is either decreased or remained relatively stable. However, aggravated assault has remained high, average of 60,000 in 2018 and in 2020, but even 2021, it started rising higher and further. Roughly 25% to 30% of all aggravated assault in California occurs within LA. And these crimes often leave communities without closure, as nearly 1/3 cases remain unresolved. Donna and I are part of this community. In 2024, we lost a friend due to an unprovoked assault in Los Angeles. The offender fled the scene and was never caught due to lack of evidence. Our wish is just something to change that would enhance the safety for people of LA, change that would ensure justice for people who deserve it the most. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Donna So, and I'm here to speak on an issue that concerns me as a citizen of Los Angeles. While LAPD data shows a recent 9% decrease in aggravated assaults, these incidents remain a primary driver for violence in LA. Currently, programs like the Office of Violence Prevention focus on long-term support. However, many assaults escalate instantly due to stress or crisis. We need to expand unarmed, rapid response teams that can intervene in minutes, not the 24 to 48-hour currently provided by follow-up services. Furthermore, we lack clear public data on clearance rates for aggravated assaults. Without this transparency, we cannot measure the effectiveness of our response. I call on the city to increase investment in immediate de-escalation teams and publish specific case outcomes for non-fatal assaults. To reduce violence, we must prioritize faster response and greater accountability. Thank you.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
Yeah, good morning. Item 10 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Item 10, I am for item 10. That's it. General public comment. Why don't you get your damn kiosks prepared before 9:30? I come in here at 9:30 to use the kiosk and it's not ready. It's not working right. You ought to do something about that shit.
Good morning, council members. Joe Donlin, director of the United to House LA Coalition. Item 7 before you today addresses the next 2 rounds of ULA funding for the income support program for low-income seniors and people with disabilities. Nearly $60 million of direct financial assistance from ULA to the community members most vulnerable to becoming unhoused because of fixed incomes. The next immediate round of ULA income support funding will total $14 million and will prioritize households hurt by last year's wildfires and the ongoing ICE raids. Essential resources provided by ULA for the Angelenos affected by the most traumatic events in our recent history. Council members, regarding item 28, if approved, the United to House LA Coalition looks forward to what we assume and hope will be a thorough, data-driven process, not predicated on one highly speculative and dubious report whereas importantly, the complaints of the very folks who don't want to pay the tax that almost 60% of Angelenos approved. The United House LA Coalition remains and always has been relentlessly
General public comment?
committed to building as much affordable housing as possible for Angelenos and to optimizing ULA toward that end. We're open, but let's ensure that the context for any process or attempt to amend is clear. Market behavior, including in the LA city housing market, is driven by analysis of what's ahead and certainty. This citizen-led initiative has never lived a day in which a rational developer wouldn't pause or hold fire in light of the constant threat and signal that it might go away or change. In other words, detractors have created their own self-fulfilling prophecy, and that compromises every bit of data we've seen so far. So we hope that this committee does not exacerbate or feed that by assuming what it's going to attempt to do in advance based on external narratives generated and perpetuated by those whose profit interests are actually at play. Lastly, let's remember that not a single report from city agencies has been requested to the City Council to evaluate whether Measure ULA has had any measurable impact on market rate housing production. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to bring up the issues on LA 28, and if we are really ready. I know there's a lot of jobs to be created. Working at where they collect clothes and they clean them for the companies. I can't remember the name right now. Cintas. Working for Cintas, they always told me, well, the general manager always said to me, here at Cintas, what makes us a better company or corporation is that we create new jobs on hand. So what I'm trying to say is, let's get ready for LA 28. Let's clean some roads, clean some trash cans. I know Gavin Newsom cleaned up the streets right away in 2024 when I moved back here from the state of Minnesota. But yeah, you guys are doing a good job. I just want to say thank you, and that's it.
What up, council? So we're giving our friend the best day ever, and we wanted to start by ripping some karaoke, but it's a Wednesday, so all the karaoke places were closed. So we thought, the council's a place of free speech and joy, so I'm going to rip my song here. My first song is Guess, but...
Well, you're welcome to sing. It needs to, so this is an opportunity for you to provide public comment and request to this body. So if it's just a karaoke song, it's not appropriate for general public comment.
But this is like an expression of joy to
I understand, but we have to apply the rules equally. So would you like to provide public comment via song? If not, if it's just karaoke, we're going to have to move on to the next speaker.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You want to guess the color of my underwear. You want to know what I got going on down there. Is it pretty in pink or all see-through?
So again, I need you to, I'm going to give you one opportunity. You need to connect it to something that's within the jurisdiction of this body, or we're going to have to move on to the next speaker.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I just think Coachella should be in LA. So you want to put them in your mouth, pull them all down.
So thank you. We've warned you already. Your time has expired.
Right.
Appreciate you trying to spread joy, but we have to apply the rules equally for public comment to everybody. Next speaker. Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
Good morning. I'm just continuing the message of joy.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you on that.
I'm just continuing the message of joy to the city council members.
Got it. So same rules apply. If you'd like to provide public comment and can connect it to something within the jurisdiction of the city, you can. Go ahead.
Okay, there are worse things I could do than go have a drink or two. Even though the neighborhood thinks I'm trashy and no good, I suppose it could be true, but there are worse things I could do. I could flirt with all the guys.
Same. I need you to connect it to something, otherwise we're going to move on to the next speaker.
I'm getting there. Smile at them and bat my eyes. Press against them when we dance. Make them think they stand a chance.
Okay, thank you. We're going to have to move on to the next speaker. Your time has expired.
Thank you so much for your time.
What up, council? My name is JT Parr, and I am a concerned citizen. I'm here because last week this council voted to ban the N-word and the C-word from official city communication. And I support that decision. We all know you've had to sit up here and listen to that one weird guy use those words way too many times. It was too much. But this is a big but. History tells us that once you start banning words, you don't stop. You're already here today banning karaoke. I heard you do that. It's real. So yesterday it was the N-word, today it's karaoke, then someday it's the D-word. Every authoritarian regime in history started with, we're just banning the bad words, but then you're banning books, then ideas. Then some dude named Derek is on the council, and he just starts banning a bunch of stuff because of the precedent that you set. And here's the scary part. One day someone's gonna have a solution for housing and transportation and all this stuff we can't fix, but they won't be able to use the words they need
Speaker,
to
your
fix
time has
it, because
expired.
they've been
Next speaker.
banned.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
All items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
So 12 is a motion. So basically, you've got all these 3 minutes.
So, sorry, yes, he has 3 minutes for the items and then 1 minute for general.
So item 12, so you've got all these lawsuits with you violating people's rights, people are getting injured, people are getting killed. So your new strategy, instead of trying to avoid having those lawsuits in the first place by not having people's rights being violated, not having LAPD shooting and killing people left and right, not having injuries on sidewalks, instead your solution is to retaliate against people who file lawsuits. So, and that opens you up to new legal liabilities. So instead of trying to avoid the lawsuits in the first place by maybe, say, defunding the LAPD, by fixing the sidewalks, by making sure people's rights are protected, you're instead going to retaliate against people who file lawsuits. So, wow, what a joke. Just what a mess. So item 16 is you're going to destroy RVs that unhoused people use for shelter and such. Instead of giving them housing and services and such, you're going to destroy their RVs, then they're going to be out on the streets with no protection, and then you're going to harm and criminalize them even more with 4118. So, yeah. Let's move on to item, let's see. We've got item 23. I was going to come back to 23. Let's go to 25. So 25 would be providing supplemental city services for the U.S. Women's Open Championship. You should hold this item and not provide any city services until the U.S. Golf Association reverses their discriminatory anti-trans policies. So until that happens, you should not be providing any city resources, any city services to an event that openly discriminates against trans people. And even when that happens, even when they reverse that policy, no money should be going to policing. So we have item 23. So item 23 would ban LAPD from also being ICE agents. So this is good. This is a good first step. You also should make sure that the LAPD isn't effectively acting as ICE agents while on duty as LAPD by assisting and aiding and abetting in ICE kidnappings, providing traffic control, arresting people who protest ICE, the fact that LAPD is under numerous restraining orders, court injunctions, things like that.
General public comment?
For repeatedly attacking the press, for being violent at protests, and then they don't even follow those restraining orders and injunctions. And you got MAGA McDonald crying continuously that they're being forced to actually protect people's rights, to not brutalize the press just for reporting, things like that. And none of you will say or do anything about it whatsoever. You have the power to fire Jim McDonald. If you do it, it's permanent, it's final. And for some reason, you all are cowards and refuse to do it. And I don't know why. I don't know what the holdup is. The progressives or whatever aren't even paying attention to public comment. And you could introduce a motion to fire Jim McDonald. You could do it today. And it could be heard next week, or I guess 2 weeks, you're on recess. But you won't do it, I guess. Hugo, repeal your 4118 zones. Heard there was a boycott last week.
Next speaker.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Good
Can you
morning.
hear me?
So 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
sir. Okay, I want to start with number one. I hear a lot of people coming here asking for free stuff, right? Give us, give me, whatever. I hear a lot of that. Well, I am now, for my first time, going to ask for something for free, okay? And I hope Smoke and Scan doesn't get mad at me for this. But what about we get free rides, okay, to intensive care units, okay? Because you're trying to increase the rates for advanced life support and mileage. So, you have somebody, oh, I think you're having a heart attack. Do you want to go to the hospital? No, I can't afford it. I can't afford the advanced life care transit to the hospital. So no, I'm good. Come on. And then a few weeks ago, it was you wanted to get the people, who fell out of bed, like seniors, you want to charge them. Are we so desperate for money that we have to get people to charge extra if they need to go to the ICU? Are we really becoming that
so you've exhausted
city?
your 1 minute on item 1?
Okay. And the next one I wanted to talk about is I had it on my thing. Sorry. Thank you. Let me talk about the RVs. Okay, thank you so much. The RVs, okay, yes, I know there's a lot of issues with those, but again, I'm always encouraging the city to get outside help. The Dodgers should pay for the Dodgers. Why not get, outside entities that can come, I kind of thinking those shows like Pimp My Ride or whatever, and regenerate these RVs and find property where they can be put on, where people help with the housing. I see a lot of things here for housing, and it's just I don't know, it doesn't feel like anything's ever getting done. And it's just, we're shuffling people around. Okay, take their RV, then where they're going to end up? On the street, then what? So why don't we come up with real solutions and ask outside entities to help us with our solutions? And Mr. Lee still owes me an apology for the record. I don't know. I'm just going to talk about. Let me switch to because I lost my
General?
pictures.
Okay. You have 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to talk to Mr. Curran Price and everybody because I know we can't just do him. But Mr. Price, I think you were hornswoggled by the cult of Scientology because they got your office to go along with them to close every street around the shrine, including the sidewalks, and make it local only, where Scientologists were the ones checking everyone's IDs to see if they belong there. The funny part is, though, and the city attorney's office can say this for a fact, that part 2, page 2 of those permits do not allow for any restriction of pedestrians unless it's an emergency. There was no emergency, okay, at all. And so it restricted my right to be able to go down there because they push everybody into the street. I'm not going to sit there in the street in a chair. And it prevented Ms. Laura FM here from trying to see her father. Please do not be tricked into working with Scientology to prevent the public from its rights, sir. Okay, we have a right to protest. It's peaceful, but they got you, doing something that is illegal, not right.
I want to echo Audit LA's last comment about the Shrine Auditorium. They just started closing down the streets all around the Shrine Auditorium when Scientology comes and does their yearly New Year's event. That happens every year, and it's been going. I know you guys, the whole city knows this at this point. When they do their New Year's event, never did they ever close down all the sidewalks and the streets around the Shrine Auditorium. That's been happening now the last 3 years. The reason they started doing that is because people like myself were trying to see if there was a glimpse where I could possibly see my father or my mother coming off one of their indentured servant buses, and I was able to see my dad. And because I was able to see my dad, I yelled for him. He couldn't look at me, couldn't speak to me. I had to scream from him across a sidewalk that was falsely closed. So this is why this is super important. This is how they are shutting family members away from their parents in Scientology. So don't give them any street closure whatsoever for the Shrine Auditorium this year.
Next speaker.
Awesome. God bless you guys. Thank you all for being here. I really wanted to make a mention immediately about some research that I've recently done. Council President Harris Dawson, I'm incredibly honored to be before you, especially gaining knowledge of your introduction of new educational programs to Los Angeles. That is absolutely incredible. My grandmother was an educator, and I'm currently focused on introducing programs that encourage ethnic American youth to be more viable for consistent attainment and execution of the office of the presidency of the United States. I was fortunate enough to make a Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety commissioners meeting yesterday. Very interesting to learn how the government works and to further promote mobilization and activation of the incredible talent, young and old, in the city. God bless you all, and you guys have a good day.
This comment is for the council members as well as the LAPD officers who are here, so I hope you're paying attention. You seriously need to get outside legal opinions because whatever you're being told by the city attorneys and the police union lawyers is no good. These advisors seem to have fallen into the trap of following the instructions of trusted superiors without questioning or fully understanding those instructions. In other words, of not doing their jobs. When officers here enforce illegal rules to expel people, the officers themselves are in violation. When you automatically hold communications with lawyers as confidential, you are in violation. Hire some good outside lawyers yourselves and ask them to convince you that the Brown Act is being ignored. This police misconduct cannot be remedied through the civil process, but the district attorney seems equally hobbled.
Good morning, council members. My name is Rachel Greenberg. I reside in North Hollywood in CD2. In reference to item 23, I support AB 1537. I believe LAPD should not be allowed to serve as ICE agents, since currently ICE agents engage in illegal acts and knowingly detain people in illegal ways. I would also like to be taken a step further. LAPD should not be collaborating or aiding them in any way with them while they're on duty, which they're doing as of now. I'll move on to general comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Last Friday, community observers witnessed DHS delivering a fleet of 19 vehicles to the parking lot adjacent to the defunct post office at Van Nuys and Delano. This seems to be one of the first steps of DHS moving into the James C. Corman Federal Building in Van Nuys, which was previously reported by Wired magazine. DHS is also already active in the area, illegally detaining people going to their court hearings in that same plaza. People who need to access state, federal, and city resources or to comply with court orders are being forced to endanger themselves, especially now that that area is DHS's backyard and hunting ground. I ask the council to please agendize a discussion about this dangerous situation for our neighbors. In addition, I ask that the council members for the affected area and its neighboring districts, council members Padilla, Nazarian, and Rahman, meet with community members to create a plan that ensures our neighbors are aware of this danger and as protected as possible.
Item 11 is a corrupt conflict of interest waiver to retain a law firm. The appearance of such a corrupt item smells of filthy, sleazy, criminally insane Marquise Dawson. To vote yes on this conflict of interest is just something our corrupt government finds normal. A yes vote on this item is like allowing indicted criminal Kern Price to sit there voting while out on bail and on trial for voting on his wife's business with the city and I protest both. Item 17, for more wasted public funds for police litigation, and I demand a no vote instead of wasting our public funds on the defense of the police after they have brutalized or murdered a member of the public. These funds should be used in the service of the people. In this item number 17, the pathetic, corrupt, and incompetent City Council President's CD8 district is a food desert with the highest unemployment rate in the entire country. But Marquise Dawson is bringing forth this motion, along with the other professional Uncle Tom's Price and Poverty, Heather Hutt, for the defense of ongoing police brutality on the Black community by the LAPD. Item 19 is more corruption and hypocrisy by mixing the subjects of golf courses and high fire zones with affordable housing. This item stinks of Marquise Dawson, indicted Karen Price, and Bob Genocide Bloomfield. In my opinion, this item should have altered wording that includes an investigation of why this incompetent sleazy council with sleazy Marquise Dawson and Karen Bass did absolutely nothing while our city burned 16,000 structures. Item 19 through 22 is for so-called establishing the city's position. What actually they do is absolutely nothing but fill out an already worthless do-nothing agenda because these incompetent council clowns have bankrupted the city with homelessness, the police, and catastrophic fires. Item 25 by Trailer Trash Racist Demon Tracy Park is for funding a golf tournament. This is the demon's solution to solving the 80,000 homeless, and no doubt has everything to do with item 19, another golf item. This is the stupid and corrupt manner in which sleazy Dawson and demonic racist Tracy Park operate. Item 28 by this incompetent, corrupt Dawson is to form an ad hoc committee on Measure ULA for less than a month. This is to extract more money for himself. This item does not even say who will be members of this so-called ad hoc committee. Item 17 is for even more funds for outside legal, like the $7 million the city spent just to keep Karen Bass from testifying under oath. General public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Public, Marquise Dawson, CD8 is a food desert, the highest unemployment rate in the entire country, the highest homeless rate. Sleazy Dawson evicted the Afiba Center, the Black community's 20-year-old community and culture center, and turned it into a COVID testing site with votes of Nithya Raman, Bob Gaza, Genocide Bloomfield. That is what they really think about Black culture. Our city, state, and federal tax dollars are being used to drop bombs in yet another war for Israel, and I demand an immediate resolution from this criminal coward council that condemns yet another war against the Iranian people at the behest of Israel. We, the people, are starving while these council cowards are silent, while this government drops bombs for Israel and Bob Genocide Bloomfield. Here is a clown solution. Let's elect them with Nithya Raman, mayor, public. When you hire clowns, you get a circus. Black history is world history.
My name is Ida Shuri, and I'm speaking in a personal capacity. Right now, this country is engaged in a war abroad and here at home. The United States is engaged in an illegal war against my home country, Iran, and it's engaged as well as in illegal ICE raids on the people in this city, as well as engaged in an illegal war on the poor. The city is an active participant in all of these wars. The members of this sitting council has actually spoken out in support of this illegal war. One of the members is actually not even in his seat right now to listen to my public comment. The members of the city council have stood with the people supporting this illegal war and war crimes. And they continue to passively support anti-Muslim, anti-Palestine messaging from leadership and do nothing to rein in hate crimes that will increase in our city. By being a passive participant, you're an active participant by not stopping and doing anything to stop this sort of investment in these war crimes and in this genocide. This city can actively divest from genocide, and that's what it should do. Thank you.